When the bell rings on September 13th, all eyes will be on Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. But if the final bell sounds, the fate of this super fight will be handed to three individuals sitting ringside. In a bout of this magnitude, with politics involved, with millions of dollars on the line, the judges themselves are under a microscope. And if not, then they goddamn well should be. The Nevada State Athletic Commission has selected a trio of officials with extensive experience, but also with a history of controversy. This is Las Vegas, after all, the city of sin, the city of Sodom, the city of Gomorrah. Fasten your seatbelts because we are diving deep into the pits of hell. Our first demon is Tim Cheatham, a judge who is no stranger to high-profile assignments, but his resume is punctuated by scorecards that have left fans and pundits scratching their heads. Most recently, in Manny Pacquiao's comeback against Mario Barrios, Cheatham turned in a 114-114 draw card, a verdict that contributed to a highly controversial majority draw that many saw as a robbery against the legendary Pac-Man. This is not an isolated incident for Cheatham. In the technical masterclass between Devin Haney and Vasily Lomachenko, he saw the fight 115-113 for Haney, a decision that sparked outrage from those who believed Lomachenko had done enough to win. This is one of the worst robberies that I have seen in the last few years. Tim Cheatham was also one of the judges involved in the highly controversial draw between Jermell Charlo and Brian Castano. He scored the bout 114-114 in a fight where many saw Castano win the fight. His wide 116-112 card for Tim Tszyu over Sebastian Fundora raised eyebrows as well. This might have been controversial due to how competitive the fight was. A 116-112 card seems strange to some people. Cheatham became the center of controversy during the IBF elimination fight between Gustavo Lemos and Richardson Hitchens.
By a stock
and a big right hand again! And this is nightmare fuel for Richardson Hitchens.
Lemos applied constant pressure on the slick Richardson Hitchens. While Hitchens was more technical, Lemos was the relentless aggressor, landing the harder punches. And most observers felt he had done enough to win.
Let's see if Lemos can take advantage. Hitchens just grabbing on. Hitchens refusing to let go. The referee might want to consider taking a point if this keeps up.
The official decision was a unanimous victory for Hitchens. Two judges scored it a close 115-113, but Tim Cheatham's card was a massive outlier at 117-111, meaning he gave Lemos only 3 rounds. The score was so wide it shocked Hitchens' own promoter, Eddie Hearn, and was seen as a complete dismissal of Lemos's effective aggression and work rate. Before we move on to our next judge, it might be important to highlight that Tim Cheatham scored Canelo versus Dimitri Bivol 115-113 for Dimitri Bivol. Next is Max DeLuca, another veteran official whose name seems to appear in the center of boxing scoring controversies. He was the third judge in that same Pacquiao-Barrios fight, but unlike Cheatham's draw, DeLuca saw the fight 115-113 for Mario Barrios. This card was instrumental in denying Pacquiao a victory and further fueled the firestorm around that event. In the chaotic Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney bout, Garcia scored 3 knockdowns, leading 2 judges to award him a comfortable victory. Yet, Max DeLuca turned in a 112-112 draw card. This meant that despite the 3 knockdowns, DeLuca somehow found enough rounds to give Haney to even the score, a decision that baffled most observers. His 116-112 score for Jose Benavidez over Mauricio Herrera is still cited as one of the modern era's great robberies. When DeLuca is at ringside, there often seems to be an added layer of unpredictability to the judging. Here are some of the major fights that Max DeLuca has scored for Canelo. Canelo Alvarez versus Billy Joe Saunders. DeLuca scored at 78-74 for Canelo at the time of the stoppage. Canelo Alvarez versus Jermell Charlo. DeLuca scored at 118-109 for Canelo. Canelo Alvarez versus Edgar Berlanga. DeLuca scored at 118-109 for Canelo. Major fights that Max DeLuca has scored for Crawford. Terence Crawford versus Sean Porter. DeLuca scored at 87-84 for Crawford before the 10th round stoppage. And then there is Steve Weisfeld, perhaps the most well-known of the three, largely due to his long career and presence in some of the biggest fights of the last decade. Yet that notoriety also comes from being at the heart of boxing's most infamous judging debates. He was the third judge in the Pacquiao-Barrios fight, completing the trio by also turning in a 114-114 draw card. Weissfeld was involved in the highly controversial fight between Jermell Charlo and Brian Castaño. His scorecard of 117-19 for Brian Castaño was actually reasonable. Unfortunately, it was overshadowed by Nelson Vasquez's widely criticized 117-111 card for Charlo. While Weisfeld's card was more reasonable, the overall decision was disputed. Most recently, Weisfeld was one of the three judges for Crawford's controversial victory over Israel Madrimov in August of 2024. In a closely contested fight that many felt could have gone either way, Weisfeld turned in a score of 115-113, contributing to the unanimous decision that awarded Crawford the win. Here's how Steve Weisfeld scored some of Canelo's previous fights. Canelo Alvarez versus Dimitri Bivol. Weisfeld's score, 115-113 for Bivol. Canelo Alvarez versus Gennady Golovkin, 3. Weisfeld's score, 115-113 for Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez versus Billy Joe Saunders. Cheatham's score before the stoppage was 77-75 for Canelo. So, what does this mean for September 13th? For Canelo and Crawford, the mission is clear. Don't leave it in the hands of the judges. Do you believe these judges favor a particular boxer, a particular boxing style? Is the fix in? Let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Join our live streams. We are always ready to debate.